You have been giving compliments the wrong way your entire life. Beautiful. You look amazing. You are so hot. They sound polite. They sound safe. But let me ask you, if she has already heard the same words 1,000 times from men she barely remembers, why would your version suddenly matter? It does not. Real attraction is not born from flattery. It happens when a woman feels something deeper, mentally, emotionally, sometimes even physically, and that requires a different kind of compliment. Not one that polishes her ego, but one that slips past her defenses, the kind that makes her feel seen in ways she never expected, the kind that lingers long after you have walked away. This is not about sweet talk. It is about influence. And in this video, I am going to reveal 3 forbidden compliments most men will never dare to say. They work not because they sound nice, but because they carry power. They trigger curiosity, tension, and memory. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe. Walk with me on this path, and you will learn how to stop being predictable and start becoming a man of true value. Forbidden compliment 1. Never say you're beautiful. For most men, the first instinct is to say, "You're beautiful." It feels natural. It feels polite, respectful, even a little romantic. But here is the unshakable truth. It does not work the way you think. She has heard it 1,000 times. From strangers sliding into her messages. From men she does not respect. From guys she cannot even remember. It is predictable. It is generic. And worst of all, it does not touch her. A compliment like "you're beautiful" is surface level. And surface level never seduces. When you say it, you are only confirming what her mirror already told her. You are not giving her anything new. You are not sparking anything unexpected. And in her mind, you just blended in with every other man in the background. So what is the alternative? Do not just describe her beauty. Describe what her beauty does to you. Instead of "you're beautiful," say, "There is something dangerous about the way you look at me." Do you feel the shift now? It is not just admiration. It is tension. It is chemistry. It is energy between you. You have invited her into a shared moment. Here is another one. "I cannot decide if you are a mystery. I want to solve or something I want to get lost in." This is not about her appearance. It is about your experience of her. It transforms the compliment from a flat observation into a vivid encounter. And here is the psychological key. Women do not fall because they are told they are pretty. They fall when they feel felt. They fall when they sense that you see them in a way other men never risk expressing. Take it deeper. Say something that flips the dynamic. "You carry beauty like you do not care about it." That is rare. Now you are not just noticing her looks. You are noticing how she holds them. You are cutting through makeup, fashion, and posing, and reaching the real woman underneath. Think about this for a moment. Every woman has been told she is beautiful since she was old, enough to understand the word. It has become background noise. It is the equivalent of elevator music, pleasant perhaps, but entirely forgettable. When you tell her she is beautiful, you are adding one more voice to a chorus she has heard her entire life. You are not standing out. You are blending in. And blending in is the enemy of attraction. But when you say, "There is something dangerous about the way you look at me," you are not commenting on her face. You are commenting on her effect. You are telling her that she has power over you, not in a weak way, but in a way that acknowledges her presence as something potent, that lands differently, that makes her think. Here is another level. Most men will never say anything that creates tension. They are too afraid of being rejected, so they stick to safe, neutral, harmless observations. They compliment her dress, her hair, her smile, things that require no courage, no vulnerability, no risk. But a woman knows when a man is playing it safe. And playing it safe communicates one thing. He is afraid of losing her approval. And a man who is afraid of losing her approval cannot lead. The man who says, "I cannot decide if you are a mystery I want to solve or something I want to get lost in," is not asking for approval. He is stating an experience. He is inviting her into a dynamic. He is creating a frame where she is the mystery, and he is the one who sees it. That is leadership. That is power. That is what separates the men she forgets from the man she cannot stop thinking about. Think of it in 3 levels. Safe compliments. "You're beautiful." "You look nice." "That dress looks good on you." Harmless. Polite, forgettable. These are the words of a man who wants to be liked. Sexy compliments. "There is something in the way you move." The Way you just looked at me, I felt it in my spine. These build tension, attraction, anticipation. These are the words of a man who is not afraid to acknowledge desire. Psychological compliments. You make me forget what I was about to say. You carry yourself like you have already seen how this ends. These pull her into a mental game. They stick in her head. They echo long after the words are gone. These are the words of a man who sees her as a whole person, not just an image. And here is the line between weak and strong men. Weak men use compliments to fish for a reaction. They say something nice and then wait anxiously to see if she smiles, if she laughs, if she validates them. They are performing. Strong men speak truth because they mean it. They are grounded enough to say what other men censor. They do not need her reaction to confirm their worth. They are not seeking approval. They are giving a gift, and whether she accepts it or not does not change who they are. That is the delivery that cuts through the noise. That is the kind of line she replays in her mind when no one else is around. So let me ask you, have you ever said something that made her pause, made her look at you a little longer with that smile that says, she knows something you do not? If yes, you have already felt the power of saying less but meaning more. If not, that changes today, because the words you choose from now on will not just matter. They will create the energy she either craves or forgets. Forbidden compliment 2. The compliment that hits her body and mind. Most men split their compliments into 2 shallow categories. They either aim at the body. You look sexy in that dress. Those legs go on forever. You have an incredible figure. Or they aim at the mind. You are so smart. You are interesting. I love your sense of humor. The problem? Rarely does a man know how to do both at once. And because of that, he loses before the game even starts. Here is what most men do not see. A woman does not want to feel only desired. She also wants to feel understood. Desire alone makes her feel like an object, something to be consumed, appreciated, perhaps even worshipped, but not truly known. Understanding alone makes her feel like a friend, someone valued for her mind, but not awakened on a deeper level. But when those two collide, when she feels both seen and wanted, that is when attraction pierces deeper. That is when she starts craving more of you, not just more words. Think about the psychology here. Women are constantly being reduced to one dimension or the other. The man who only compliments her body is telling her she is a pleasure to look at. The man who only compliments her mind is telling her she is a pleasure to talk to. Neither of these men is offering the full experience. The man who can do both, who can look at her and say something that acknowledges her intelligence while also creating physical tension, is telling her that he sees her as a whole woman. And that is rare. That is powerful. So how does that sound in practice? Try this line. You move like you know exactly what you are doing. And I would be lying if I said I was not thinking about it. Notice the construction. The first part, you move like you know exactly what you are doing, is an observation. It speaks to her presence. It acknowledges awareness that strikes her mind. You are telling her that you notice her confidence, her self-possession, her command of her own body. The second part, and I would be lying if I said I was not thinking about it, is the drop. It sparks curiosity. It suggests desire without spelling it out. That strikes her body. Together, the two halves create polarity, mental connection and physical charge in one line. And women feel that shift instantly. They feel that you are not just complimenting them. You are engaging with them on multiple levels at once. Here is another option. The way you sit so still with that much confidence, it is distracting. That is not about appearance. It is about energy. You are telling her that her composure has impact. You are not in awe. You are intrigued. That is rare. Most men would say, you are so confident. That is a statement. It is flat, it does nothing. But the way you sit so still with that much confidence, it is distracting. Creates a reaction. It tells her that her stillness is powerful enough to affect you. That is a compliment that lands in her body, not just her ears. Or try this. You are the kind of woman who knows exactly when to speak and when to stay silent. That is dangerous. Now you are complimenting restraint, feminine discipline, a subtle but magnetic kind of sensuality. Why does this work? Because women are not pulled toward men who only notice the obvious. They are drawn to men who see layers. The body, yes, but also the command, the vibe, the unspoken force. Consider the difference between a man who says, "You have beautiful eyes," and a man who says, "Your eyes just told me something your mouth is trying to hide." One is describing a physical feature. The other is acknowledging that her eyes are a window into something deeper. The first man is looking at her. The second man is seeing her. Women are surrounded by men who look at them. They are starving for men who see them. Here's another example. A man who says, "You are so intelligent," is stating a fact. A man who says, "I can tell your mind moves faster than most people's," do you ever get bored, waiting for them to catch up, is creating a connection. He is not just observing her intelligence. He is stepping into her experience of it. That is the difference between a compliment and an invitation. A compliment says, "I notice something about you." An invitation says, "I notice something about you and I want to share in it." But here is the rule. These lines collapse if you deliver them like a performer hunting for approval. The power is in delivery, calm, grounded, certain. You are not seeking a reaction. You are stating the truth. When spoken like that, you are no longer just giving compliments. You become the experience she replays in her head. She will not be chasing your attention. She will be chasing the feeling you created when your words landed in both places at once. Think about the tone. If you deliver these lines with nervous energy, they feel like pickup lines. If you deliver them with neediness, they feel like manipulation. But if you deliver them with calm, grounded certainty, like a man who has seen enough of the world to know what he wants and is not afraid to say it, they feel like truth. And truth is seductive. So let me ask you, have you ever said something that made her pause, her breath catching because her body realized what her mind just heard? If yes, you already know the power. If not, you are about to. Forbidden compliment. 3. Praise her darkness, not her light. Most men stay safe when they compliment a woman. They stick to the obvious. "You are so sweet. You are fun. You are always so positive." Nice words, yes, but also predictable, forgettable, and lifeless. Here's the truth most men miss. Women do not crave to be seen as perfect. They crave to be seen as real. And every real woman carries shadows. Parts of herself she hides. Edges she fears are too much. Energy she has been told to soften. She has been praised for her light her entire life. "You are so nice. You are so kind. You light up the room." These are the compliments she receives from everyone. They are safe. They are expected. They require nothing of her. But what about the parts of her that are not nice? What about the fire, the ambition, the hunger, the sharp edges? Those parts exist. They are real. But almost no one acknowledges them. While other men praise the light, you need to notice the dark, that hidden fire, that sharpness under the surface. That storm she keeps locked away. Think about what this communicates. When you acknowledge a woman's darkness, you are telling her that you are not afraid of who she really is. You are telling her that you can handle her complexity. You are telling her that you are strong enough to see her fully, not just the curated version she presents to the world. That is rare. That is intoxicating. So instead of saying she is nice, say this: "There is something dangerous about you. I cannot decide if I should move closer or step back." You did not call her hot or kind. You acknowledged her edge. That flips a switch in her mind. She has spent years trying to be good enough, gentle enough, easy to like. But suddenly you are the man who sees the fire she hides and you like it. That is rare. That is intoxicating. Or try this. You have the kind of energy that does not ask for space. It takes it. Now you are not praising kindness. You are recognizing power. And power, when seen without fear, is unforgettable. Most men would never say this. They would be afraid of offending her, of coming across as too intense, of being rejected. But the man who says it is not asking for permission. He is stating what he sees. And a woman who has spent her life being told to be smaller, quieter, easier, will feel something shift when she hears it. She will think, "He sees me, not the version I show everyone. The real me." And he is not afraid. Why does this hit so deep? Because it is taboo. Because it is real. Because it tells her, without you needing to spell it out, "I am not afraid of who you really are." In fact, that is the part I want most. Consider the contrast. The man who says, "You are so sweet," is complimenting her performance. The man who says, "There is something dangerous about you," is complimenting her truth. One is easy to say. The other requires courage, and courage is attractive. Here's another one. You have a little chaos in your eyes. That is probably my favorite part about you. You are not afraid of the storm. You are dancing in it. Think about what this does. She has probably been told her whole life that her chaos is something to manage, to hide, to smooth over. She has been taught that being too much is a problem. And here you are telling her that the chaos is your favorite part. That is permission. Permission to be fully herself. Permission to stop performing. Permission to let the mask slip. And when you give a woman that kind of permission, she will never forget you. Here is the rule. This only works if you mean it. If you try to use it as a trick, it dies. But if you say it calmly with presence and certainty, it lands. Because deep down, every woman knows her dark side is not wrong. It is just hidden. And when a man sees it and does not flinch, she remembers him. She remembers him because he was the one who saw her, not the polished version. Not the version she presents to her colleagues, her friends, her family. The real her. The one she rarely shows anyone. And in a world where everyone is performing, being seen is the rarest gift you can give. So tell me, have you ever dared to compliment the part she was scared to reveal? Drop a comment below. I said the dangerous thing, because that is the moment. Attraction stops being polite and becomes personal. Bonus insight 1. What makes her crave more? There is a kind of compliment most men never think about. The one that does not satisfy her right away. The one that leaves her wanting more. Most men hand out compliments the way children hand out candy. Quick, easy, everywhere. You look great. You are amazing. You are so smart. What happens? The words lose weight. They become background noise. She has heard them all before. Think about the economics of attention. When something is abundant, its value drops. When something is scarce, its value rises. This is true of gold, of time, and of your words. If you compliment her constantly, your compliments become worthless. She does not have to work for them. They are given freely, and they are therefore valued accordingly. But if you compliment her sparingly, when you finally do speak, she listens. She wonders why now. She wonders what she did to earn it. She wonders what else you see that you have not said yet. That is mystery, and mystery is the engine of attraction. You are not like most men. You compliment like a king. And kings do not speak to impress. They speak with intent. They speak with authority. They let silence carry more power than flattery ever could. When was the last time you held back a compliment? Not out of fear, but out of strength. Because scarcity creates value. And when your words are rare, your presence becomes unforgettable. A woman's heart does not crave endless praise. It craves certainty. The energy of a man who does not need to flood the space with approval. Picture this. You're in a deep conversation. Most guys by now would have thrown 10 compliments her way, but you are calm, steady, observant. And only after truly watching her, you lean in and say, the way your mind works, that is rare. Notice the impact. One line, precise, unmistakable, and it lands because she had to wait for it. That is what separates a king from a follower. Or try this. There is a stillness in you most people would overlook. I like it. Now you are not just admiring her. You are showing her she has been seen, and because you did not flood her with empty lines, that one truth echoes louder than all the noise. The psychology is simple. The less available something is, the more it matters. When you make compliments scarce, she starts to wonder, why now? Why did he choose this moment? What else does he see that he has not said yet? That is when curiosity takes over. That is when she leans in. That is when you hold the frame. On the flip side, when you compliment too often, you lower your status. You become the admirer, the one chasing approval. But when you speak like a man who knows his worth, who offers approval, sparingly, you flip the script. You are not trying to be chosen. You have already chosen yourself. And she feels that difference. So remember this. The most powerful compliment is the one she had to earn, even if she does not know how she earned it. That mystery, that tension, that is what drives her wild. Use your words wisely. Speak less, mean more. Bonus insight 2. Make her question why she is thinking about you. Let me ask you something deeper than surface attraction. What makes a woman lie awake at night? Not just recalling your words, but genuinely asking herself, why cannot I get him out of my head? It is not your looks. It is not your car. It is not your money. It is the psychological mark you leave behind. If you want to stand out, do not just try to impress her. Do not just flirt. Make her question herself. And here is the secret. You do not create that by chasing. You create it by leaving space for her mind to wander. Women fall for the impact, not the simple interaction. They fall for the afterglow, not the moment. So how do you make this happen? You do the unexpected. You make an observation that cuts straight through her defenses. Something subtle yet accurate enough to shake her. Like, you speak as if you are open. But I can tell you hide the things that really matter. Now she is not just reacting. She is wondering why you saw it. Or, you seem calm, but your eyes move like someone who never stops scanning the room. That is not flattery. That is not a pickup line. That is you unlocking a layer she did not expect to be exposed, and it stays with her. It echoes long after the conversation ends. This is not about pretending to be mysterious. It is about being present enough to notice what most men miss, and then stepping back just enough to let her mind chase the meaning. She asks herself, why did that feel different? What did he see in me? Why do I want more of that? That is where the real power lives. Most men drown her. Attention with endless texts, constant availability, and predictable patterns. You exit with precision. Your absence becomes louder than their presence. She does not miss you. She misses how she felt around you. She misses the version of herself you revealed. Here is a real move. When she shares something raw, do not echo the sympathy of the crowd. Do not say, that must have been hard. Instead say, that explains a lot. Then stay silent. Let the quiet do its work. Her mind will fill the gap. And in that silence, she feels you. The brain hates unfinished loops. When you leave space mentally, emotionally, physically, her imagination works overtime, and the story she tells always has one main character, you. Women forget the men who try to be perfect, but they never forget the man who made them pause, reflect, and feel something they cannot explain. So here is your challenge. Can you be so grounded, so sharp, so present that your absence becomes her obsession? If yes, comment below. She is thinking, but does not know why. Because when you do this, she will not just think about you. She will search for meaning in you. And that search becomes a loop she cannot escape until the day you decide whether to let her in or walk away, leaving behind an imprint no one else can replace. Conclusion? Now you have the 3 forbidden compliments most men will never dare to say. The first, never say you're beautiful. Describe what her beauty does to you. The second, hit both her body and mind in one line. Make her feel seen and wanted at the same time. The third, praise her darkness, not her light. Acknowledge the fire she hides. And beyond these 3, you now understand the deeper principles that make any compliment land with power. Scarcity creates value. Silence creates curiosity. Presence creates impact. These are not tricks. These are truths delivered with calm, grounded presence. They work because they are real. They linger because they touch something no other man has dared to touch. Most men will never have the courage to speak this way. They will stay safe, predictable, forgettable. They will continue to blend in with the chorus of voices telling her she is beautiful. Nice, sweet, but you are not most men. If this video resonated with you, drop a comment below. Tell me, which of these 3 compliments will you use first? Subscribe to the channel for more insights on Stoic masculinity, power, and influence. And remember, your words are not just words. They are the architecture of attraction. Build wisely. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.